Good evening, friends, and welcome to Cottington Gym at Peterson Senior College for today's women's basketball style welcome teams. Today's meeting features visiting Princeton College campus and your Lansing State College Knights. Lansing College Knights physical officials by senior athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by school participants and officials in the college arena. For offending racial or sexist comments or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives
And so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kaplan Center for a Friday evening conference matchup between your Mount St. Mary College Knights and the Purchase College Panthers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is shaping up to be a good one. Both sides have pretty similar statistics on paper. Both teams come into the contest with an overall record of 6-6, but both sides have a 5-2 mark in conference play. Mount St. Mary has lost 4 of their last 5. They did manage to snap that 4-game losing streak on January 6th against St. Joseph's Brooklyn. Meanwhile, Purchase, they have lost 3 of their last 4. They're coming off a January 6th loss against Manhattanville. So with the Knights having dropped 4 of 5, the Panthers having dropped 3 of 4, and they are currently 2 of the 3 teams deadlocked in a 3-way tie for 3rd place, the 3rd team being Sarah Lawrence. Those 3 sides are all 5-2. But Mount St. Mary did beat Sarah Lawrence rather handedly. That was a 27-point victory all the way back on November the 22nd. As Purchase got a hand on it, but the opening tip-off will be won by Mount St. Mary. Reese Mayer brings the ball up the floor for the home side. She'll swing it across for Sarah Cashin. Cashin now gets it to Brianna Guglielmo. Guglielmo operating from around the free throw line. She'll work it underneath for Trinkus. Trinkus goes up and under right at the basket, gets it to go off the glass. And a really good start there for the home side. The Panthers look to respond, bringing the ball up the floor. That's Charlie Nebb. Nebb will swing it for Patton underneath. Now back up top. The Panthers look to generate some sort of offense, looking to answer that early basket from Maggie Trinkus. Swung up top. Working with it now, Purchase. Swinging inside, now stopping right inside the paint. Kicking it back up top on the ground. Now up top for Twisha Sivramakrishna, and that's a foul. I believe this one will go against Mount St. Mary. This will. So Trinkus gets called for the foul. Shooting 2 now at the free throw line. This will be Tiana Patton. Patton, the leading scorer for this Purchase side, averaging 12.7 points a game. First free throw is good. So 1 for 1 at the line so far. Looking to knock down the second. You bet. And so roughly 77% for the line coming into today, 53 for 68. She's knocked down her first 2. To go 100%, can't get the lucky bounce. Trinkus brings down the rebound, and we stay tied at 2. Donato swings it for Reese Mayer towards the top of your screen. Now Mayer cuts down towards the middle, towards the half-court logo. The ball swung to Cashin. Cashin leaves it now for Guglielmo. Guglielmo up top gets it underneath for Trinkus. Trinkus goes right at the rim. Couldn't get that one to fall. She wanted a foul. The referees say otherwise. Now here come the Panthers, losing the ball for a little bit, now swinging it way up ahead. That one too far out of reach for the intended target. Reese Mayer picks up the steal, and then the referees will say she double dribbled. So the Knights force a turnover and then immediately give the ball right back. So both sides perhaps just a little bit jumpy. And so the referees putting the ball in the appropriate spot. This will be Kendall Larson doing the inbounding for the Panthers. Larson looks for any open woman. She'll leave it now for Sivaramakrishnan, who will get it underneath for Charlie Nebb. Nebb working against Mayer, bounces back outside the three-point line, swings it up top. Now on the ground, now back up top. Shot fake from Larson, now works inside, working past Donato, gives it back up top for Nebb. Nebb swings into the corner, here's Gregg for three, that one left well short. This one will go out of play. Last touched, I believe, by Sivaramakrishnan under the net. So Mount St. Mary forces a poor shot there. Nicely done on defense for the Mount. The Panthers took the maximum allowed time on the shot clock. Donato will swing it across the floor, gets it to Guglielmo. Guglielmo swings it back up top. Donato was not there. Perhaps a little bit of miscommunication there from the home side. And so after 2 points on each team's opening possession, lack of ball security seems to be a theme. Here's Nebb working on Mayer. She gets past Mayer, now swings it into the corner. Good look for Patton from beyond the arc. Got it. And that's why Tiana Patton is leading this Purchase team in points per game, 12.7 for her. Mayer runs the rim, kicks it into the corner. Trinkus gets a good look. That one is good. They're going to say this is a long two. So Trinkus brings Mount St. Mary within one. The Panthers will look to match. Nebb does a little bit of traffic, now swings it for Gregg. Gregg works on Guglielmo, spin move, now kicks it back outside the three-point line, now back underneath for Sivaramakrishnan. She falls, that ball's still on the ground, no whistles yet, now whistles. Early indications say that this is going to be a jump ball, I believe it will be. And so by virtue of the possession arrow, the Panthers will be able to maintain possession. The Panthers rocking the orange and blue. Now swung out top for Sivaramakrishnan. Now swinging it across for Nebb. Nebb up top for Gregg. All the way across. Now Gregg back with it. Swings it into the corner. Now back up top for Gregg. And the Mount St. Mary Knights force a shot clock violation. Excellent defense so far for Mount St. Mary. I mean, only one made field goal for the Panthers. And that was the three-pointer from Patton. The other 2 points came from a trip to the free throw line, and other than that, it's been 4 shot clocks. Donato has a wide open pass to the rim, leaves that one well short. This one will go out of play, last touched by Trinkus. I think she got that rebound maybe just with her feet on the baseline. The referees quickly make that call. As Gregg does the inbounding, she'll get it to Nebb. Mayer meets Nebb at around half court. Nebb looks to work around her. She'll swing it into the corner. It's Patton putting it on the ground, now working it with it around the free throw line. Inside is Gregg. She'll leave it up top for Patton. Patton thought about it. Now we'll give it back to Gregg. Gregg working on Guglielmo, kicks it out of the paint. Gets it up top for Nebb. Nebb now 10 on the 30 for the Panthers. Nebb forced to pick up her dribble, forced to get rid of it. Gives it to Patton. Patton from around the elbow, kicks it into the far corner. Gregg has to shoot. Can't get it to go off the back iron. Sarah Cashin brings down that rebound. She'll leave it for Angelina Donato. Purchase opening in a press on the rebound. That's Nebb right in the face of Donato. She's forced to kick it across the court. Gets it to Mayer. Mayer to Trinkus. The Knights have yet to put the ball on the ground. Now they do. Trinkus does. They're going to say this is a foul. And now coming on for Purchase, that is number 21, Jamira McCray. She'll come on in relief for Holly Gregg. Now up top, it's Mayer. Mayer on the ground, bounce pass to Donato. Donato for the wing to Cashin. Cashin back towards the top of the key. It's Trinkus. Trinkus on the ground, works to her right. Now thought about it. Now goes right at the rim. Up and under is good. A nifty finish there from Trinkus, and Mount St. Mary's back up front. Here's Nebb directing a little bit of traffic. Now we'll kick it across. Here's Purchase. Ball on the ground, working to the left. Now here comes Patton for three. That one left well long. Mayer grabs the rebound, now running the floor for the home side. Mayer for Guglielmo. Guglielmo catch and shoot three. That's good. Brianna Guglielmo, the leading scorer for this home side by a wide margin. She's averaging 14.4 points a game. The next closest Knight at 10.5. So Purchase now desperately needing an answer. Mount St. Mary has pieced together a 5-0 run in this here opening quarter. Sivarama Krishnan looks to put it on the ground, now does. Spin move, now kicks it back up. Mid-range jump shot, that one a little too long. Takes an unfriendly bounce, grabbed out of the air by Guglielmo. Trying to push the floor is Trinkus, or is Donato. She got it to Mayer. Right there on defense was Neb. So in a play you might see on an NFL field, Donato swings the ball up the court, and Mayer makes the catch. But right there on defense is Neb, so it is a jump ball. Mount St. Mary, regardless, gets to keep it as Kira Frias checks into the contest for the home side for the first time tonight. Frias gets it to Cashin. Cashin up top for Trinkus. Trinkus all the way around now for Frias. Frias right underneath for Cashin. Gets a shot off. Can't get it to go, but does draw the foul. So Mount St. Mary just continues to work the blocks. A lot of points in the paint so far for the home side, and if you can't score in the paint, at the very least you can draw fouls. As two substitutions come on for Purchase, one of them being Amira Mahaber. Cashin's first, got it. Cashin now looking to go 2 for 2 with the stripe. A respectable 63% from the free throw line this year. That one is good. Cashin goes 2 for 2, and the home side now up 6. McRae on the inbound, working with it now is Neb. Neb working on Mayer, crosses over, now crosses back over, loses the ball, diving on it is Guglielmo. Mount St. Mary with a takeaway. Mayer now working it up ahead, bounce pass up ahead for Frias, they got it. And Mount St. Mary on a 9-0 run with 4:33 left to go here in the first quarter. Purchase head coach Steve Bauer looking for any way to stop the bleeding will call a timeout. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Mount St. Mary on a run early. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. So the buzzer sounds, everybody back on the court where they need to be. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, I am Lucas Stackpole. Welcome back to the Kaplan Center. Now, the Purchase has fallen victim to a Mount St. Mary 8-0 run. They look for any way to get back into the scoring column. Patton, nice spin right at the rim, gets it to go off the glass. A big shot there from Tiana Patton. And a huge basket there from Purchase. And it is 13-7. Mayer brings the ball up the floor for the home side, working in and out of the center court logo. Now gets it to Guglielmo. Guglielmo for Cashin. A little overzealous on defense was Patton. Cashin will go right to the rim. Leaves that one well short. No foul. And now Purchase looks to get some points here on the fast break. It's Neb. Neb working on Mayer. Tried to get it across the wing. They're going to say this is a travel before anything else, as Ashley Santiago will check in for Purchase here for the first time tonight. So Santiago checks into the contest for the visiting side for the first time tonight. The inbound for Mount St. Mary goes to Reese Mayer. The Knights currently lead this one 13-7, currently on a 9-2 run. Mayer swings it across the floor for Frias. Frias for Cashin on the far wing. She'll get it up top for Trinkus. Trinkus now puts it on the ground, uses her left hand, gets it to Guglielmo. Guglielmo goes right at the rim. That shot blocked underneath. Purchase unfazed by Mount St. Mary trying to attack the interior. No fly zone in the Kaplan Center, so Mount St. Mary will have 9 seconds to get a shot off here. Frias works with it. Frias up top for Trinkus. Trinkus puts up a jump shot. That one won't go. Getting a hand on it was Purchase, but they will say this was last touched by Mount St. Mary. So here now come the Panthers. They trail by 6. 3:15 left to go here in this opening quarter. Running the floor is Neb, now swinging it into the corner. Santiago trots up a triple. That one won't go. Rebound by Cashin and the Knights. Cashin will leave it for Mayer. We dip under the 3-minute mark here in this first quarter. Mayer tries to run the rim, now kicks it underneath for Trinkus. Trinkus right there for an easy 2 points. Mount St. Mary just continues to attack the blocks as Neb brings the ball up the floor for the Panthers. Purchase desperately just needing any sort of basket to so far just keep pace with Mount St. Mary. As that one swung for Mahabir. Santiago will try another 3-pointer, left that one short off the side rim. Cashin grabs yet another rebound. She'll swing it up ahead for Guglielmo, who gets it to Trinkus, who gets it right back to Guglielmo. Guglielmo goes up and under, leaves that one short off the side of the rim. Purchase grabs a rebound. Frias checks on the ball carrier in the half-court press. Now bounces off. The Panthers still very much in need of a basket, down 8. McRae swings it now for Santiago. There's a bit of an issue with the camera as Patton puts up a 3. That one will go well over everything. And so now it is Frias bringing the ball up the floor for the home side. Frias with 3-pointer in transition. That one will go. Grabs her own rebound, up and under, gets it to go. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Kira Frias grabs her own rebound, puts it back in, and Mount St. Mary goes up double digits. 1:36 left to play here in this first quarter. Working it now is McRae. McRae into the corner. Now running the baseline. Goes right at the rim. Can't get it to go off the glass. That one picked out of the air by Guglielmo. Frias swings it up ahead. The Knights in transition. Cashing into the corner. Right there is Mayer. Mayer now cuts inside. Goes right at the block. Gets it to go high off the glass. Mount St. Mary just imposing their will on the interior. Purchase started this game with a 5-4 lead. Since then, the home side has gone on a 15-2 run. A long 3-pointer from Neb. That one won't go. Another Mount St. Mary rebound. Guglielmo up ahead. It's Mayer. And the Knights are running circles around the Panthers in this opening quarter. Coach Steve Bower forced to take another timeout. Mount St. Mary currently on a 17-2 run. 21-7 your score with 52 seconds to go. In this opening quarter, ladies and gentlemen, as always, I'm Lucas Stackpole, and we will be right back. And so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kaplan Center. 52 seconds separating us and the finish line here in this opening quarter. Mount St. Mary currently leads Purchase 21-7. Purchase just shooting 2 of 13 from the field so far. That ball inbounded. The Panthers look to put one foot in front of the other in any capacity. As Neb brings the ball up the floor for the visiting side, gets it for Patton. Patton working from around the elbow, back up top for Neb. Neb tries to put the moves on Donato. Nice spin, works it into the paint, gets a shot off. Gives that one short off the front rim. Nice second chance there for Purchase. That one won't go, and now it is a third chance. Tried to work it inside. Cashin got a hand on it. That ball kicks straight up. It'll be Mount St. Mary again on the takeaway. Angelina Donato working in with it now. Shot clock turned off. 20 seconds now separating us from the end of this first quarter. Donato working on Neb, forced to pick up her dribble, gets it to Frias. Frias working on McRae. She'll get it to Trinkus. Trinkus on the ground, using her right, cuts inside the paint, spin move, now goes up and under, got it to go. And with the clock continuing to run, ladies and gentlemen, that'll be what takes us to the end of the first quarter. And what a first quarter it was for the home side. They closed, the Mount St. Mary Knights closed the opening quarter on a 19-2 run. 23-7 your score, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of one. We will be right back with the second quarter. Don't go anywhere. So, ladies and gentlemen, the whistles have blown, the buzzers have sounded as we wait for both sides to retake the floor. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kaplan Center. It is a beautiful Friday evening in New York. 23-7 your score in favor of the home side. As always, I'm Lucas Stackpole bringing you all of tonight's action. Tamara Cosbert has checked in for purchase for the first time tonight. Working with the ball now, Patton, step back jump shot over Trinkus, looking for a foul as she hit the deck, can't get it to go. Second chance for Chloe Neves. They're going to say she traveled right underneath the basket, and so that opportunity collapses just as soon as it came about, as Gabby Ziegenball is in for the mount for the first time tonight. Angelina Milano working the ball up the floor now for the Knights. Tried to get it to Cash, and that one taken away. Patton on the steal, goes right at the rim, gets it to go. And so for the Panthers' leading scorer this season, she's not going to have a much easier 2 points. That one taken away. Patton again gets it to go off the glass. So Tiana Patton with the quickest 4-point stretch you'll ever see, as there's a whistle and a stoppage for some sort of issue, and that issue seems to be resolved just as quickly as it came about, as Angelina Donato breaks the double team with ease. Now swings it up top for Ziegenball. Ziegenball picks up her dribble, now gets it up top for Cashin. Cashin now decides to put it on the ground, bumps into Patton, and they will say this is an offensive foul. So Sarah Cashin bumps into the defender perhaps a little too hard, and it will be a foul against the home side. And so for as dominant as the first quarter was, a little bit of a slow start to the second quarter. Purchase has opened it on a 4-0 run. That shot, can't get it to go, out of play, right along the baseline. They will say this was last touched by a Knight. Last touched by a Panther. Of course, Mount St. Mary wearing white, still moving right to left on your screen. The inbound goes to Mayer. Mayer swings it for Ziegenball. Ziegenball back up top for Mayer. The first-year backcourt has done an excellent job this season for the Knights. Mayer goes right at the rim. That rebound taken out of the air by McCray. Now the Panthers up ahead, swung across the floor, operating just in front of the screen. Got it underneath for Neves. This will be a foul, but it will be a foul on the ground. So Haley Gregg checks back into the contest. This will be an inbound right under the basket for the Panthers. Swung up top for Neves. Neves now gets it for Cosbert. Cosbert does a little bit of traffic directing. Now it works past Mayer. Goes right at the rim. Just throws one up. Can't get it to go off the back iron. That one a little too strong. This will be a defensive rebound and a jump ball for Mount St. Mary. And the possession arrow favors the home side this go-around. Now it is Guglielmo on the ground, gets it to Mayer. Mayer looking to break the double team. The Panthers have opened in a press here in the second quarter. Guglielmo gets it back to Mayer. Mayer now past half court with a second to spare. Mayer, bounce pass, tried to get it to Guglielmo. That one taken away. Cosbert to the rim, gets it to go. No, she can't get it to go. Second chance, that one can't go either. So Cosbert misses the layup. Patton grabs the offensive rebound. She gets a shot up. That one also does not go. But Patton does draw a foul. As we have a timeout, Coach Marion Dietz elects to burn one. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the home team takes a timeout for the first time tonight with 8:05 left to go here in this first half. Your score, Mount St. Mary 23, Purchase 11. We will be right back. So the buzzers have sounded, the whistles have sounded. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kaplan Center. I am Lucas Stackpole. 8:05 left to go here in this first half. Mount St. Mary 23, Purchase 11. Tiana Patton shooting 2 free throws. Patton looking to do anything to get her side back into the game. Mount St. Mary has far and away been in the driver's seat all evening. The game is still young, as Patton's first free throw is good. So, of course, the game is still young. 8:05 left in the second quarter is no time to hit the panic button. But again, Mount St. Mary has dominated so far early, so Purchase looking to throw together some punches of their own. As Patton's second, got it. So the inbound from Trinkus goes to Ziegenball. Ziegenball leaves it for Mayer. Mayer met it around the half-court line. She'll get past it without too much trouble. Now bounce pass for Cashin. Cashin right underneath for Guglielmo. Guglielmo puts it on the ground. Nice shot fake. Goes right underneath. Gets it to go off the glass. Some nifty post work for the Mount St. Mary leading scorer, and the lead is back up to 12. Purchase now looking for anything as Patton now puts it on the ground. Backs down Trinkus. Now kicks it back up top the three-point line. Here's Cosbert. Cosbert, that ball kicks straight up. Patton tracks it down, but she's double-teamed there close to the half-court line. Then finally there's a foul. Mount St. Mary had Patton right where they wanted her, but somebody probably just too handsy right underneath. It'll be a reaching foul. So Purchase will get the ball on the sideline closest to the bleacher with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Catherine Argenzio comes out. Charlie Nebb comes back into the contest. Working with it, Neves. Neves now gives it to Cosbert. Cosbert working against Ziegenball. Cosbert goes straight to the rim, now kicks it underneath for Neves. Neves over Cashin, can't get it to fall. That one taken right back out of the air. That one won't go either. Patton grabs her own rebound. Nebb will try a long three-pointer. That one won't go off the front rim. Cashin snatches it out of the air. Now gets rid of it. She ends up on the ground. No foul. Guglielmo's pass is picked off. Now it's Purchase operating in their own end. What a wild sequence there. Nebb mid-range jump shot. That one won't go. Guglielmo grabs the rebound despite the over-the-back foul from Neves. So Mount St. Mary manages to come away unscathed despite the giveaway underneath. As Twisha Sivaramakrishnan comes back into the contest for the Panthers. Guglielmo's inbound, gets it to Mayer. Mayer working against the double team, kicks it up ahead for Ziegenball. Ziegenball now past half court, got it to Guglielmo. Guglielmo picks up the ball in the transition, she'll give it for Mayer. Mayer runs the baseline, now bounces back out. Right underneath the three-point line, now outside the three-point arc. Mayer does a little bit of directing traffic, gets it underneath to Cashin on the bounce pass. She'll work on Sivaramakrishnan. Cashin for Guglielmo. Guglielmo on the ground, goes right at the basket, can't get it to go. That one rejected. It looked like a Panther got a hand on that underneath. Now here's Cosbert running the floor for Purchase, goes right at the rim, leaves that one well short. Ziegenball there on transition defense. Now she kicks it up ahead for Guglielmo. Guglielmo right at the basket, can't get it to go. Trinkus grabs the rebound and gets that one to go. So Mount St. Mary cashes in on the second chance, and the lead grows to 14. Tamara Cosbert bringing the ball up for the Panthers. She's met it around the three-point line by Ziegenball, now kicking it underneath. The referees are going to say this is a travel just outside the block. So things just continue to get worse for Purchase as Grace Christie comes on for the Mount for the first time this evening. So Ziegenball in the inbound gets to Mayer, back to Ziegenball. Purchase relentless in the half-court press. Ziegenball's pass up ahead. That one disrupted by Cosbert. She was unable to force the official turnover, but nice defense there from the visiting side. Guglielmo on the far sideline, closest to the bleachers. Inbound to Mayer. Mayer for Christie. Christie puts it on the ground, immediately picks up her dribble. Here's Trinkus directing traffic from the top of the key. She puts it on the ground, works to her right. Right underneath is Christie. Christie kicks it into the corner. Three-point try from the corner is good. Gabby Ziegenball, hook, line, and sinker. Wide open three-pointer from the corner. And it is now 30-13 Mount St. Mary. Purchase desperately needing a basket. Swung up top. Here's Krishnan. Now it's Patton back across the floor. Here's Cosbert. Cosbert goes up and under, right at the rim, gets it to go. A nice basket there from Tamara Cosbert. The deficit cut in half. As now it's Mayer running past half court. Now at about the elbow, picks up her dribble, kicks into the corner. Ziegenball will try it again. That one won't go off the back iron. Takes a friendly bounce for the home side. Trinkus snatches it out of the air, and by way of the jump ball arrow, this will be Panther ball. So Charlize Giles has checked into the contest now for Purchase as the Panthers bring the ball up the floor. That one kicked across, now towards the baseline. That far corner, right underneath is Giles, now kicks it back up top. Giles again now, kicks it back outside the three-point line, leaves it now for Sivarama Krishnan. She can't get it to go off the glass. High-arcing layup, sorry. A bit of a scoop there, a little up and under action. Can't get it to go off the glass. So Mayer inbounds it to Ziegenball. Ziegenball gets it back to Mayer. Mayer now running the floor, stops at about the elbow, kicks it out. Good look for three-pointer for Christie. That one's left short off the side rim. Kendall Larson grabs the rebound as we have a whistle. And this ball is out of play, last touched by a Knight. So the ball now inbounded here for Purchase. Bringing the ball up the floor is Neb. Neb met at the three-point line by Mayer. Neb now hops on a dime, stops right in front of the block, kicks it back outside the three-point line. Spins now back up top the wing. Shot fake, good defense there from Mayer. Running the baseline is Neb, but the referees will say she stepped out. And this one will be Mount St. Mary ball. Ziegenball on the bounce pass on the inbound, gets it to Mayer. Mayer back up ahead for Ziegenball, who swings it back across for Mayer. The first-year backcourt, again, beats that press with ease. Now Ziegenball, that pass well too far ahead of the intended target. I believe that was Christie underneath. That pass just too high. So Neb now bringing the ball past half court for the Panthers. Works with it, bounces it back outside the three-point line. Now works it back in. Good defense there. That's Mayer getting a hand in. Reese Mayer on the steal. Gets it now running the rim. Tried to get it to go off the glass. Couldn't quite. But I believe they'll say this is a shooting foul. This one will go against Twisha Sivarama Krishnan. So Reese Mayer from Jacksonville, Florida, as Sivarama Krishnan comes off. So the Sunshine State product, her side up 15. She'll look to add to that lead. Her first free throw. Got it. So with 3:20 left to go here in this first half, Reese Mayer will try her second. She knocked down the first. Mount St. Mary leading by 16. Mayer can't get it to go. Christie grabs the rebound. That pass picked off by Larson. Larson now running the floor, gets it underneath, and that one turned over. She tried passing to an area where nobody was. Purchase perhaps just a little too jumpy on the fast break. Mount St. Mary will get the ball right back. That ball inbounded. It'll go to Ziegenball. Ziegenball immediately swings it back across for Mayer. Mayer up ahead past half court. She'll get it to Guglielmo. Guglielmo leaves it back with Mayer. Mayer towards the top of your screen, putting the ball on the ground, has all the time in the world to direct traffic. She'll swing it for Ziegenball. Ziegenball leaves it for Christie. Christie up across. Guglielmo thought about trying a three-pointer. Under 10 on the 30. Guglielmo goes right at the rim, leaves that one a little too long. That ball ends up on the ground. Multiple parties end up on the ground. This is a jump ball, and it'll stick with the home team. As Tiana Patton checks back in for Purchase, she'll come on for Hallie Gregg. Guglielmo doing the inbounding. 2:41 left to play here in this first half. The inbound goes to Trinkus. She'll swing it to Christie. Christie to Guglielmo. Right underneath is Trinkus on the cut. Gets it to go in the foul. Some beautiful off-ball movement for Maggie Trinkus. She gets the layup to go and the foul. So the foul goes against Amira Mahabir. Trinkus looks to complete the three-point play. Got the free throw. The lead now up to 19. That ball inbounded. It's Neb directing traffic. She'll tell Giles where to go. Neb now swings it. Good defense there from Ziegenball. Now back for Neb. Neb guarded by Mayer. She'll go right. Try to get it into the corner. Nicely done by Giles to snatch that one out of the air towards the sideline. Three-pointer won't go. Rebounded by Mayer. Now pass up ahead for Guglielmo. Guglielmo gets it back to Ziegenball. Ziegenball gets it to Christie. Nicely done as she was towing the baseline. Trinkus got it to go, but they're going to say she traveled. So Maggie Trinkus knocks down the contested layup, but the referees will take that one off the board. As Kira Frias comes back in for Mount St. Mary, along with Angelina Donato, Chloe Neves comes back in for the Panthers. So Steve Bauer shouting some words of encouragement for the sideline. His side down 19 as Neb goes right at the rim. That shot won't go, but she does draw a shooting foul. This one will go against Kira Frias. So for the first time tonight, we'll get to see Charlie Neb at the free throw line. Neb has started all 13 games this season for Purchase, averaging a respectable 12 points a contest. That's good for second on the team. Shooting free throws currently at a 79% clip, coming into today 46 for 58. So Purchase surely comfortable with Neb at the free throw line as she knocks down them both. So Giles and Kendall Larson come out. Catherine Urgenzio and Jamira McCrae come back in. A pair of substitutions for the Panthers. 1:55 left to go in this first half. Frias inbounds it to Donato. Donato works it past half court without too much trouble. She's guarded by Neb. Donato leaves it for Guglielmo. Guglielmo for Christie on the far side of your screen. Donato working underneath, goes right at Neb, gets it to go off the glass. Mount St. Mary has just been relentless in the post, and the 19-point margin proves that. Neb directs a little bit of a traffic. She leaves it for Neves. Neves will get it for Patton. Good screen there from Neves. Patton uses it perfectly. And an easy 2 points there for the Panthers. The inbound goes to Donato. Donato swings it well up ahead. Wide open look for three. It's Guglielmo. That one won't go. This one will go out of play. Last touch by Frias. Frias upset with herself for not bringing that down, as Darcy DiBenedettis checks in for the home side for the first time tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kaplan Center. If you're just now joining us, Mount St. Mary 36, Purchase 19. We've officially dipped under the 1 minute mark as a long three-pointer from Argenzio won't go. Guglielmo grabs the rebound. Now slows traffic down. She'll get it to DiBenedettis, who will go right at the rim. That one won't go. Rebounded by Christie. She'll leave it up top for Guglielmo. Guglielmo for Donato. Donato goes right inside, goes right at the rim, draws the foul. As there is a Panther down and shaken up. I believe that is McCrae. She is helped to her feet. She appears okay, thankfully. So now Angelina Donato will shoot 2. Donato missed some time this season due to injury, but is as valuable to the team as ever. When she's healthy, is routinely a member of Marion Dietz's starting 5. The 6 games, now 7, she has been healthy for she has started. Coming into today, 9 for 11 from the free throw line. She knocks down her first, and she knocks down her second. So the lead back up to 19 for the home side. The inbound goes to Neb. The Panthers have about 40 seconds to work with. Neb met outside the three-point line by Frias. Neb uses her right, cuts across, now leaves it underneath. Going right at the rim is McCray. She can't get it to go, but she does draw a foul. So the foul will go against Frias. That is her second personal foul, as Jamira McCray heads to the free throw line. McCray this season has appeared in all 12 games, but has not started any, so a valuable piece off the bench for Steve Bauer's team, as McCray's first free throw is good. So McCray knocks down the first, comes into today shooting 10 for 15 from the free throw line. That's exactly 2/3 for all of my math people out there. So 66.7% as that one goes in. McCray goes 2 for 2 from the stripe. McCray knocks them both down. There is the slightest difference between the shot and game clock, but Mount St. Mary certainly in a position to take the last shot of the half. As Ziegenball tried to get it to Christie along the far sideline. That one knocked out of play by a Panther. And so while there is 16 seconds on the game clock, there are 15 seconds on the shot clock. So it is genuinely the slimmest of margins as Donato goes right at the rim, can't get it to go. Grabbing the rebound was Guglielmo, but she did have a foot on the baseline. And so now Purchase will have 8 seconds to make something happen before the half. Neb running the floor with 5 seconds counting down. Neb works against Ziegenball, now kicks it across. Argenzio has to shoot, can't get a shot off. So, yeah, the referees will say that Argenzio did end up getting a shot off. The referees will say it didn't count. She let it go too late. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is halftime in Newburgh. Your score, Mount St. Mary 38, Purchase 21. The home side has been in the driver's seat so far all evening. We will see if that keeps up in the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, I'm Lucas Stackpole. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will be back in 15 minutes for the second half of some Skyline Conference basketball. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the buzzer has sounded. Halftime is over. We are ready for the second half of action live from the Kaplan Center in Newburgh, New York. As always, I'm Lucas Stackpole. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're just now joining us, this game tonight has been all Mount St. Mary. They've led it the whole way. They have led it convincingly the whole way. Your score right now, 38-21. And so, ladies and gentlemen, as always, I'm Lucas Stackpole, and we look about ready to get this second half underway. The starting five's back out there for both sides. Working with it for Purchase is Neb. Neb underneath for Sivaramakrishnan. She'll go right at the rim. Can't get it to go. That one's snatched out of the air by Cashin. She takes some contact post-rebound, but is able to come down with it regardless. Working with it is Mayer. Mount St. Mary now moving left to right across your screen. Mayer will leave it for Trinkus. Trinkus gets it to Guglielmo. Guglielmo tried to get it to Trinkus. That one changes hands a little bit. That one taken by Patton. Patton now running the floor for Purchase. Waits for the open woman. Looks for a solid opportunity. Now gets it to Neb. Neb, guarded by Mayer, tries to go right at Mayer. And Mayer's able to take it away. They're going to say this is a jump ball. And the possession arrow favors the home side. So good defense there from Reese Mayer, her third steal of the contest. And the Knights' overwhelming interior defense continues to keep up as Purchase tries to keep up with the full court press, And Mount St. Mary again breaks it with ease, gets it to Trinkus. Trinkus gets it to Guglielmo, who goes right at the basket, gets it to go. And those are the first points of this second half for either side. Guglielmo gets it to go, the lead back up to 19. As Neb works with it, she'll get it to Larson. That one through the hands of Larson. They will say it is last touched by number 20 in orange. This one will go out of play. It'll be Knights ball. So Guglielmo operating here along the near sideline. She'll get it to Mayer. Mayer runs up the floor, gets a good pass underneath for Trinkus. Trinkus goes right at Sivaramakrishnan, and that shot blocked. And she'll grab her own rebound. She leaves it up ahead for Neb. Neb has a step on Mayer. She'll go right past Donato. Gets a good look for the layup. That one much too strong. Sarah Cashin, baseball pass up ahead. That one incomplete. Joe Milton-esque pass. The arm talent certainly there, just over every possible intended target. That one goes out of play, and it'll be Purchase now working right to left. That one goes to Larson. Back to Greg, up top for Sivaramakrishnan. Now it's Patton. Patton gets it up top for Neb. Neb goes right at Mayer. Can't get it to go, but will draw a foul. So Mayer, her first personal foul, and Charlie Neb will go to the line. Neb, a senior from Longmont, Colorado, coincidentally went to a high school called Skyline High School. So the Centennial State product, shooting 2. First one is good. So Neb again appeared in and started all 13 Panther games this season, shooting a respectable 79% from the free throw line coming into today. Makes the first, can't knock down the second. That one grabbed by Trinkus. She'll swing it to Guglielmo, who gets it to Mayer. Mayer stops for a second, now crosses half court. She's met by Neb. Working with it now Trinkus. Trinkus goes right at the basket. That shot looked like it was blocked. It's taken away by Sivaramakrishnan, her second block of the half. Working with it now, here's Neb. Neb gets it to Greg. Greg right at Trinkus. Tried to get it back up top. That one taken away by Guglielmo. Guglielmo running it up the floor. Now Donato gets it back to Guglielmo. Beautiful pass right underneath for Trinkus. Now Trinkus goes right at the basket. Got it to go off the glass. So Mount St. Mary's offense did not skip a beat. A couple of beautiful baskets right underneath the hoop. The theme for the Knights all game has get the ball to the interior and good things will happen. And so far that's been exactly what happened. As Neb spins, she works on Mayer. Mayer forced to foul her again. So a little bit of deja vu as Charlie Neb will go right back to the free throw line. So Neb, 1 for 2 on her last trip. Gets the first. So Neb, with her side down 19, looking to put a dent into the sizable Mount St. Mary lead. Her second got it to go. So the Rocky Mountain product goes 2 for 2 at the stripe the second time around, 3 of 4 so far this quarter, as Donato goes right past Greg. Good shot fake, got Greg to jump. Donato goes right at the rim, leaves that one off the back iron. That one taken out of the air by Patton. Patton now running the offense. She'll direct a little bit of traffic. Neb runs in front of her right across the free throw line. Patton goes right at the basket, can't get it to go, but this one will be another foul. This time the foul will go against Trinkus. That's her third. As Kendall Larson and Hallie Gregg come out, Jamira McCray and Catherine Argenzio check in. So Argenzio, of course, has to check in via the scorer's table. That mistake quickly rectified. And it'll be Patton shooting, too. Again, the leading scorer for this Purchase side, 152 points coming into today. Her first free throw is good. 6:46 left to play in this third quarter. So far, every Purchase point this quarter, and on a technicality this half, have come at the free throw line. So Patton looks to go 2 for 2 from the charity stripe, knocks it down, and the lead is down to 16. Trinkus inbounds it to Donato. Donato works on McCray. Good move to get rid of McCray. Now Donato forced to pass it back across the floor. She'll get it to Mayer. Mayer bounce pass back for Donato. Donato was swinging it for Guglielmo. Guglielmo, nice ball fake. Now swings it to Trinkus. Trinkus underneath. Got it back to Guglielmo. Guglielmo gets it to go, and the foul. The tough finish. A lot of contact. But Brianna Guglielmo, again, far and away the leading scorer on this night's team. 14.4 points a contest, showing off why. A beautiful finish right under the basket. She'll look to complete the three-point play. The foul going against Neb, her first personal. Guglielmo, you bet. So the inbound goes to Neb. McCray clears out. So now the Purchase directing traffic a little bit. Now gets it to Argenzio. Argenzio leaves it up top. Patton puts it on the ground, spins. Now kicks it back up top. Patton goes right at Trinkus, gets it to go over 2 defenders. A tough finish there from Tiana Patton. Nicely done. So after the made shot, the clock continues to run. Mayer nearly left her feet. Good job staying composed there. She's being tormented in the half-court set by Patton. Mayer goes right at the basket. Can't get it to go. She'll draw a foul. This one, again, going against Neb. As Kira Frias checks back into the contest for the Knights. Frias comes on in relief of Donato. Donato shouting some advice before she exits. Mayer's first free throw. Got it. As Tamara Cosbert checks back into the contest for Purchase. So Mayer looks to go 2 for 2, you bet. The buzzer will sound once more. The buzzer will sound officially as Cosbert officially checks back into the contest. The inbound goes to Cosbert. She's met on her side of the floor by Mayer. Mayer not pressing really by any means. Good spin move from Cosbert just to shake the defense. Cosbert right underneath for Sivarama Krishnan. She can't get it to go. That one snatched out of the air by Mayer. So the Sunshine State product of doing it all, now guarded up against tightly by, that's Patton. Mayer tried to get it to Frias. Patton playing relentless defense. Coach Steve Bauer on the bottom left of your screen. He is thrilled. Cashin working well outside the three-point line as there's a whistle and a stoppage somewhere on the floor. This is a foul against Brianna Guglielmo. Guglielmo can't believe it. No apparent objection from Dietz on the sideline. So now it is Cosbert directing a little bit of traffic. She's just now past the half-court line. Cosbert runs. Argenzio acted like she was going to set a screen. Didn't. McCray goes right at the rim. Can't get it to go. A lot of contact on the way up. The referees are going to say that was all ball. Now Mayer looks to catch the Panthers in transition. She goes right at the rim. Can't get it to go. That one taken out of the air by Cashin. Nicely done on the offensive glass there as Frias takes a hard fall. This will be a foul against Cosbert. And so now it is Frias on an inbound right between the scorer's table and the home bench. Mayer gets it to Trinkus. Right underneath for Cashin. Beautiful give and go. And the lead back up to 21. 4:34 left to go in this third quarter. Mount St. Mary, this third quarter has been no different than either of the first two, as Cosbert now running the floor. They're going to say she traveled. So Cosbert right around the block gets called for a travel. As Tiana Patton will come out, Ashley Santiago will come back in for Purchase. The inbound goes to Mayer. Mayer gets right past Cosbert. Mount St. Mary has numbers. Swings it right across the wing for Frias. Frias for three. Got it. Kira Frias. Tailor-made look for three, and she made the most of it. It is now Jamira McCray running the offense. McCray crosses over, goes right at Frias, kicks it up top, tried to get it to Cosbert. Goes right through the hands of Cosbert. I'm not sure she got a finger on it. So the turnover is attributed to McCray, and Coach Steve Bauer will take a timeout. So, ladies and gentlemen, your Mount St. Mary Knights lead this one by 24. It is 52-28 with 3:58 left to go in this third quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back. So the buzzers have sounded, whistles have blown, both teams break their respective huddles. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, I'm Lucas Stackpole, and if you're just now joining us, or if you've joined in progress, Mount St. Mary has been standing on the gas pedal the entire game. 52-28 your score, and it has been anywhere from a 15 to now a 24-point margin for a duration of the contest. Purchase last led when the score was 5-4. And then Mount St. Mary ended up finishing the first quarter leading it 21-7. So Mayer runs it up the floor, forced to pick up her dribble. That's Cosbert there on defense for Purchase. Trinkus loses the ball, picks it right back up. She'll get it to Guglielmo. Guglielmo goes right at the rim, got an open look. Couldn't quite get it to go. Cashin on the offensive rebound, gets it to go off the glass. And Mount St. Mary just continues to dominate the interior. That has been a theme all night, and I expect it to continue to be. As now it's Santiago, bounces off Trinkus, tried to get it across the floor. Frias got a hand on it, but couldn't corral it in play. So some nice defense there for Mount St. Mary, but Purchase will keep the ball as Twisha Sivaramakrishnan comes back into the game. Or no, she comes out. Amira Mahabir comes back in. The inbound goes to Santiago, who gives it to Cosbert. Cosbert guarded by Mayer. Cosbert works with her right, now switches back to her left. She'll stop on a dime, spin move. The referees aren't fooled. They'll say she traveled. And Mount St. Mary will get the ball right back. Frias on the inbound. She wastes no time getting it into Mayer. Mayer sprints past Cosbert. She has had no trouble getting past his half-court set. Mayer goes right at the rim. The coast-to-coast approach does not quite work. As the rebound looked like it went Mount St. Mary's way, the second chance shot turns into a jump ball, and the possession arrow favors the women in orange. Jamira McCray and Tamara Cosbert come out. Charlize Giles and Charlie Nebb come back in. So the inbound given right to Nebb. We've dipped under the 3-minute mark here in this third quarter. Neb directing some traffic. She'll get it to Santiago up top. Santiago now gets it to Giles, who now is back with Neb. Neb guarded by Cashin beyond the arc. Now cutting right back inside. Getting a hand in there was Cashin. That ball knocked loose. Purchase managed to retain it. Santiago with 9 seconds to shoot. Step back jump shot. That one won't go. Right idea. That shot just did not fall. Mayer swings it up ahead for Cashin. Cashin stops on a dime. Lucky she didn't travel there. Nicely done to maintain her footing. Now it's Mayer guarded by Neb. Neb got a hand in there. Continuing to play relentless defense. Swung across the floor. Now it's Trinkus. Trinkus will leave it for Cashin. Cashin underneath. That's Guglielmo. Guglielmo's up and under. That shot won't go, but she does a good job drawing a foul. And again, ladies and gentlemen, Mount St. Mary has just continued to attack the interior. From block to block, either the shot goes in right underneath the basket for Mount St. Mary, or they've managed to draw the foul. And either way, you win, because either you get the basket, you get 2 points, or you're an excellent free throw shooting team, and you're forced just to go take 2 shots at the free throw line. Guglielmo this year, shooting free throws at an 80% clip, 38 for 47 coming into the contest today. Her first free throw, that one won't go. So Guglielmo, hoping for the second, goes a little better than the first. It does. The lead up to 27 as Gabby Ziegenball checks back in for the home side. She'll come on in relief of the shooter Guglielmo. Neb directing some traffic. She'll swing it across. Got it to Greg, who gets it to Santiago. Santiago guarded by Christie. Tried to work it underneath. Getting a hand in there was, I believe that is Cashin right there under the basket. Nicely done on defense. This will be a turnover. I believe it was a foul or something similar underneath the basket. Mount St. Mary forces the turnover. Nicely done. The pass goes well up ahead to Frias. Frias swings it into the corner for Cashin. Cashin thought about it. Chooses otherwise. She'll swing it now for Mayer. Mayer working on Neb. She'll get it to Christie. Christie on the ground. Works with her right. Got it to Ziegenball. Ziegenball across the floor for Cashin. Cashin towards the top of the key. Now it is Christie. Christie swings it for Frias. Frias puts one up with 9 on the shot clock. Leaves that one a little bit short. It is rebounded by Greg. Greg swings it back across the floor. Neb now runs right at the rim. Tried to go up and under. Couldn't quite. This one will go out of play. Last touched by a Knight. So Purchase will get to keep the ball as Darcy DiBenedettis comes back into the game for the home side. So Purchase will have an inbound play right underneath the basket. We'll see what Coach Bauer has drawn up. Putting it on the ground is Giles. Giles goes right at the basket. That one won't go. Got her own rebound. This one will be a jump ball. We'll see which way the possession arrow points as Giles is down. So the Knights clear the floor. Giles thankfully helped to her feet. Holding her head, she'll come out. We really hope she's okay. At the very least, she left the court under her own power, but again, everyone here at Mount St. Mary, we hope she is all right. Tiana Patton comes on to replace the injured Giles. So it's Neb right under the basket looking for any open woman. Good spin, it's Greg. Can't get it to go, but she's fouled. This one will go against Gabby Ziegenball. So Hallie Gregg to the free throw line. Gregg this season just 6 for 10 from the free throw line, a respectable 60%. But 10 free throws is not a terribly large number, so the 60%, you must also factor in the sample size as the first free throw goes in. Gregg looking to go 2 for 2. Can't get it. That one's short off the front rim. Mayer right there on the rebound. She'll run the floor. Mount St. Mary has numbers. Mayer goes inside the paint, kicks it back outside the three-point line now for Frias. Frias got it back to Mayer. Mayer swings it into the corner at Ziegenball. Ziegenball on the ground, now crashes the rim hard. Leaves it right underneath. That's DiBenedettis. She can't get it to go. That was a fairly good look. That ball continuing to change hands in the Mount St. Mary end. I believe it is Santiago, swarmed by Christie and Frias both. And the referees now blow the whistle. This a foul against Christie. And Purchase now in the bonus, and for a side down as much as the Panthers are, being in the bonus is best case scenario, because now in the event you're fouled in any manner, it guarantees a trip to the free throw line. So of course, any respectable basketball player would love to get free points anywhere they can get them, as the first free throw from Santiago won't go. Santiago now trying her second, got it to go. So 55-30 your score. Now to Mary on the inbound. Frias will get it to Mayer. Mayer doubled. She'll get rid of it to Ziegenball. Ziegenball's pass deflected. Luckily, Frias managed to be in the area. Frias will get it to get it to Mayer, who will get it to Frias. Back to Frias. She goes right at the basket. Can't get it to go. That ball changing hands. D. Benedettis on the offensive rebound. Frias into the corner. Good look for the triple. That one off the side of the backboard. No good. Now it's Purchase in transition. Neb goes right at the basket. And they're going to say she traveled. So Charlie Neb tried for the coast-to-coast effort. Couldn't quite get it to go. And now it is Kira Frias on the inbound. 23 seconds to go. Got it to Reese Mayer. Mayer guarded tightly. Now puts it on the ground. Forced to try and break just this half-court press. Now does. Now Christie gets it to D. Benedettis. Christie now swings it to Frias. Under 10. Frias tried to get it to D. Benedettis. That pass too high. Mount St. Mary will not get the last shot of the quarter. Now it is Gray going right at the rim. That pass also too high. And a bit of a sloppy finish to the third quarter for both sides. Both sides trade turnovers as the buzzer sounds. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're 75% done here in Newburgh. Your score after 3. Mount St. Mary 55, Purchase 30. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Lucas Stackpole, and we will be right back after this brief intermission. And so, ladies and gentlemen, whistles have been blown, buzzers have been sounded. We are all ready for the last lap here tonight. Your score in Newburgh, Mount St. Mary 55, Purchase 30. The Knights have had their foot on the gas all game, and if I can take any sort of inference from the first 3 quarters of the contest, it'll be that the last quarter will not be any different, as the inbound goes to Angelina Donato. Donato now working against the defender. She'll swing it across the floor for Ziegenball. Ziegenball will now leave it for Frias. Frias on the ground, works to her right, got it to D. Benedettis. D. Benedettis running the baseline. Good spin move, working against Chloe Neves. Nice shot fake, can't get it to go. But Mount St. Mary does manage to grab the rebound. Long 3 from Ziegenball, got it to go. Gabby Ziegenball from the parking lot, and the Mount St. Mary lead just continues to grow. Here's Patton working against Christie. Can't get it to go, but she'll draw a foul. So Grace Christie called for the foul, her second personal. But of course, you would rather foul than give the opposition an easy 2 points. So Hallie Gregg comes out. Jamira McCray back into the contest for the Panthers. Tiana Patton shooting 2. Her first, left short, no good. Patton looking to salvage this trip to the free throw line off a couple of bounces, gets the second one to go. So Christie on the inbound, she'll get it to Ziegenball. Ziegenball stops on a dime, waits for Patton to catch up. Now swings it across the floor for Donato. Donato some room to work. Now swings it up top, it's Ziegenball again. Leaves it for Frias. Frias gets it to DiBenedettis, who swings it across. Christie puts up a three, the bank is open. Grace Christie off the glass, and Mount St. Mary goes up 30. Neb, that pass deflected. It's taken away by Donato. Donato's pass up ahead. Tried to get it to Ziegenball. Ziegenball couldn't quite corral it. Looked like she might have gotten a hand on it. Purchase forces the turnover right back. Right under the basket is Tiana Patton. Beautiful off-the-ball movement. And it's an easy 2 points there for Purchase. Frias now turns the ball over. That pass goes right underneath, but it's an offensive foul. Excellent job there for Mount St. Mary to draw the charge. That one goes against Jamira McCray. And Mount St. Mary makes up for the turnover by drawing the charge. Play quickly stopped just to make sure the floor is safe to play on. For any NBA fans, the Miami Heat and the Chicago Bulls had a game canceled last night because the ice underneath the arena at the United Center melted. The floor was soaked. As beautiful ball movement from Mount St. Mary gets Darcy DiBenedettis another 2 points. Here's Neb bringing the ball up the floor for Purchase. Crosses over, swings it into the corner at Santiago. Santiago goes right at the basket, stops off two. The floater is good. A little bit of shooter's touch there from Ashley Santiago. Took a couple of bounces before finally falling into the cup. But it is another 2 points for the Panthers. Swung it across the floor. That's Christie. She tried it. Couldn't get it to go. So this one out of play as Ashley Santiago comes off. Frias looks for the open woman. She'll give it to Ziegenball. Ziegenball, heat check for three. Got it! There's a whistle, but I believe the basket will count. It will. The foul was on the floor, though, so we'll see if the shot gets wiped off. And so the basket will count, and the Knights will get to keep the ball. So Mount St. Mary again gets the inbound at Frias, gives it to Ziegenball. How about a third? That one won't go. A little too strong. Frias was in the area for an offensive rebound, but ultimately backed off. That one brought in by Patton, as there is a whistle and a stoppage. This is a foul against Ziegenball. So the referee makes the signal. This will be a foul on the floor. It'll be Charlie Neb doing the inbounding. Neb kicks it up top for Neves. Neves will swing it for McCray, who gets it back to Neb. Neb working against Ziegenball. Has yet to put the ball on the ground. Now does. Uses the screen from Neves. Gets a good look. Fires away and hits. A big-time shot there from Charlie Neb. Great screen there from Chloe Neves. And that's another 3 points for the Panthers. Donato now running the ball up the floor. Looks to go coast to coast. Beautiful bounce pass underneath. DiBenedettis off the glass. And another basket for the home side. Here's Neb now running the floor. She'll leave it for Greg. Greg now works around the key. Tried to get it to Patton. Nicely done from Patton just to snatch that one away from the defense. Goes right at DiBenedettis. Gets it to go off the glass. The inbound goes to Donato. Patton right there. Patton and McCray both. Donato will go over the top. Gets it to DiBenedettis, who gets it to Ziegenball. Ziegenball working against Greg. Ziegenball on the ground. Gets it to DiBenedettis. She's working against McCray. She'll leave it with Christie. Christie on Neves. Blows past Neves. Gets it to go off the glass. The lead back up to 30 for the home side, as Grace Christie gets another 2 points. Swung into the corner. Good look for three. This is Greg. That one over everything, and it is finally corralled by Grace Christie. Christie now gives it to Donato. Donato guarded tightly by Neb. DiBenedettis acted like she was going to set a screen. Good ball fake from Donato. Can't get it to go, but this is a foul. and they will say this is in the act of shooting. It is, as a trio of substitutions now for Purchase, Catherine Urgenzio, Tamara Cosbert, and Kendall Larson all back into the game, as Angelina Donato prepares to shoot 2 free throws. Mount St. Mary 70, Purchase 40, 6:04, separating us in the finish line here this evening. Her first. No good. So Donato looking to go at least 50%. Her second. That one is good. The free throw is made. The buzzer sounds. Reese Mayer checks back into the contest. The inbound goes to Cosbert. She has Urgenzio to her left. Opts not to go that direction. Now swings it. Now it's McCray. McCray inside for Neves. Urgenzio wide open in the corner, waiting for somebody to find her. Couldn't quite. Now Neves puts up a shot. That one won't go, but there is a foul. This one against DiBenedettis. So Chloe Neves to the free throw line, I believe for the first time tonight. She'll shoot 2. Neves this season has appeared in all 13 games for the Panthers, shooting exactly, or coming into today, shooting exactly 50%, 7 for 14. That shot won't go, so she dips just below the 50-50 mark. She'll look to knock down her second. Neves will try again. No good. DiBenedettis grabs the rebound. She'll leave it now for Mayer. Mayer working against Greg. She'll leave it for Christie. Christie swings it across the floor for Freyas. Frias back up top. It's DiBenedettis. She'll get it back to Christie. Christie has yet to put it on the ground, though she has the option to. She'll get it to Mayer. Mayer underneath. Got it to DiBenedettis. And they're going to say DiBenedettis' feet moved faster than her hands did. This will be a travel. And a turnover. So it's Tamara Cosbert bringing the ball up the floor for the visiting side. Cosbert working on Mayer. She'll leave it for McCray. McCray tried to get it to Neves. That pass picked off. Running the floor, DiBenedettis. McCray almost took it away. They're going to say this is a foul. We'll see if the referees are going to say this is on the floor or in the act of shooting. I believe this one will be... I was going to say I believe this one will come from under the basket. The Knights are lining up like they're shooting too, and now they are lining up under the basket, so the foul indeed is on the ground. And now Mount St. Mary will have an inbound play. The whistle is blown. Frias will now look to set up the offense. Thought about a pass over the top. Will swing it to Ziegenball. Ziegenball leaves it for Christie. Christie working on Neves. Enough space to shoot. That'll be a long 2. That one way off. Frias offensive rebound. Got it to DiBenedettis underneath. That one also won't go. DiBenedettis trying to keep it in play right along the baseline. Couldn't quite. So it will be out of play, Purchase ball. Bringing the ball up the floor now for the Panthers. Here's Cosbert. Cosbert now goes right at Mayer. Leaves it underneath for Neves. Neves had a good look. That one won't go, but another foul, and Chloe Neves back to the free throw line. The foul goes against Christie. That is her third personal. Neves, in her most recent trip to the free throw line, missed them both. Hopes to fare a little bit better the second time around. Her first, again, got it to go. So Neves to try it again. Got it to go. DiBenedettis swings it across. Got it to Ziegenball, who back to DiBenedettis, who now gets it to Mayer. Mayer double-teamed, looks for any open woman. Good job keeping that pivot foot on the ground. She'll get it to DiBenedettis. Now swung across for Ziegenball. Ziegenball got it to Mayer. Mayer into the corner. That's Christie. Christie working on Neves. She'll swing it back up top for DiBenedettis, who gets it to Ziegenball. They're going to say Ziegenball traveled. So Mount St. Mary has done an excellent job tonight of spreading the ball around. But sometimes the recipient just a little too jumpy. The second travel of this fourth quarter for the Mount. Cosbert leaves it for Argenzio. Argenzio fires away. That one won't go off the back iron. Bounces up and over the basket, which of course is out of bounds. And so now a duo of substitutions from Mount St. Mary. Jalen Walker and Ava Orban on for the home side. Ziegenball and Christie will come out. Frias' pass picked off. That one taken away by McCray. And a timeout is taken. This one, I believe, by the Panthers. And so, ladies and gentlemen, 4 minutes and 14 seconds left in the contest here this evening. Mount St. Mary 71, Purchase 42. We will take a brief step aside and be right back after this quick timeout. The buzzers have sounded, the whistles have blown. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kaplan Center. I am the same Lucas Stackpole I've been all night. 4 minutes and 14 seconds to go here this evening. The 29-point lead for Mount St. Mary, barring what would be one of the greatest comebacks in collegiate basketball history. The Knights will move to 6-2 on the year. That one will go out of play, last touched by Cosberg. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll remember from the brief talking we got to do pregame, both sides came into the contest at 5-2 in Skyline Conference play. A three-way tie between the Knights, the Panthers, and the Sarah Lawrence Griffins. And now Mount St. Mary has a lot of leverage over both of those sides. The Knights beat Purchase earlier in the season, as that one goes out of play, last touched by the Panther. So Mount St. Mary, of course, beat Purchase soundly towards the beginning of the year. They beat Sarah Lawrence soundly earlier in the season, and now tonight they put themselves in a position to beat Purchase soundly. So if anything comes up in terms of tiebreakers for that third place spot in the Skyline, Mount St. Mary has certainly put themselves in a good spot. Freya shot fake, good job avoiding the travel, as the stream on my end has buffered. And considering I am not in the building, we will do our best to fix this. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are back on. It is Jalen Walker at the top of the key. Leaves it now for Kira Frias. Frias, shot fake. Okay, I just saw this. That one got it to go off the glass. So now it is Purchase bringing the ball up the floor, but now I'm not so sure I'm in real time. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will take a brief step aside as I look to figure this out. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, as that one won't go, rebounded by the home side. So allow me to take a second to explain the current situation. Us students at Mount St. Mary, as I'm sure all of you are aware, are currently on winter break, me among them. And I live in California, so that's currently where I am. I'm fortunate enough to be able to broadcast these games remotely, but unfortunately, with broadcasting these games remotely, I am at the mercy of all sorts of technical difficulties and things of that same nature. So today, unfortunately, no different, as Jalen Walker's first free throw is good. So the stream I am watching, and this is my reference for the entirety of the broadcast, that got delayed a little bit for one reason or another, as Walker knocks down both free throws. And so I was a little worried things weren't as they needed to be, but I believe we're okay now. So Walker 2 for 2 from the stripe. Mount St. Mary leads this one by 35. We have dipped under the 3-minute mark here tonight. Argenzio, that one won't go off the glass. Walker on the rebound. Neves right on top of her. I'm surprised that wasn't an over the back, and now it is. So nicely done from Walker to grab the boards. Chloe Neves called for the over the back. That is her fourth personal foul. She'll come out. Amira Mahabir will come back in. So Jalen Walker gets another 2 free throws. Mount St. Mary in the bonus. She went 2 for 2 in her most recent trip. This one is no good. So Walker misses her first, now at 2 of 3 from the line tonight. She'll try a fourth. Got it to go. So that ball inbounded. It's gotten to Cosbert. Cosbert bringing the ball up the floor. She's met by Orban. Now swings it across. It's Joseph. Joseph tried to swing it across the floor. That one taken away by Mayer. Mayer, all sorts of room. She won't take the 2 points. So a bit of sportsmanship there, perhaps, as that one's poked away. Mount St. Mary will instead choose to get the offense some reps. No denying Reese Mayer had 2 easy fast break points. But up 26 with 2.5 minutes to play, 2 fast break points don't really help you get any better. As Mayer now past the half-court line, she's guarded by Argenzio. Argenzio will swing it to Orban. Orban will get it to DiBenedettis. DiBenedettis up top for Walker. Walker shot fake, now spins, working from around the free throw line. 5 seconds to shoot. Ford needs to get rid of it. Tried to get it to Mayer. That ball's still loose. Purchase forces a turnover. That pass up ahead for McCray. McCray underneath for Mahabir. Mahabir slings it back outside the three-point line for Cosbert. Cosbert goes right at Mayer. The up and under won't go. Mayer grabs the rebound. So Mayer grabs the rebound, backs off, waits for numbers. Now crosses past the half-court line. 1:42 to play. Here's Frias up top for Walker. Walker guarded tightly by Cosbert. She tried to go to the rim, lost the ball. Nice defense there from Purchase. Cosbert there on the steal. She'll try to push it coast to coast. Now swings it to Argenzio. Argenzio over 2 people. Got it to go. Catherine Argenzio, nicely done on the tough finish. Reese Mayer inbounds it. This one will go to Orban. Orban guarded by Argenzio. She goes right past her. Behind the back crossover. Now stops. Picks it up. Tried to get it to Mayer. Nice defense there from McCray, but Mayer does manage to come down with it. Frias gets it to Walker. Walker for Orban. Orban goes right at Cosbert. Now swings into the corner. DiBenedettis, long jump shot is good. So Darcy DiBenedettis from just inside the three-point line. The lead is ballooned to 27. So I believe it is 80 to 40, or 89 to 44. So the lead is 20. Oh my goodness, the lead is 45. I cannot do math to save my life. Ladies and gentlemen, they pay me to broadcast, not to do math in quick time. Okay, so it is 80. I was right the first time. The technology in this fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen, has not been my friend between buffering and incorrect scores and things of similar nature. So thankfully, all the drama has been in my virtual broadcast booth and not on the floor. Mount St. Mary leads this one by 36. 8 seconds separate the shot and the game clock. Mount St. Mary, I assume, will just eat the violation. Orban, face guarded by McCray. 7 on the shot clock. She puts it on the ground, cuts towards the rim, leaves it behind her. She'll pin the turnover on Frias. So the clock stops, of course. 8 seconds left to play, and this inbound for the Panthers will be the last play here tonight. Argenzio will inbound it for Cosbert. Cosbert, both hands on the ball. The clock begins to run. She'll swing into the corner. Eden Joseph, shot fake, pull-up jumper. That one won't go off the back iron. Rebounded by Kira Frias. And ladies and gentlemen, that's how this one wraps up here tonight. Mount St. Mary, a huge conference victory, a statement conference victory. As we had mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Purchase, Mount St. Mary, and Sarah Lawrence all came into the contest a 3-way tie for third. All three teams were 5-2. Mount St. Mary beat Sarah Lawrence earlier this year, and now they've convincingly beat Purchase. So Mount St. Mary putting themselves in a good position for any potential tiebreaker scenarios. They move to 6-2 on the year, 7-6 cumulatively. Purchase falls to 5-3, and they fall to 6-7. The two most popular numbers on the internet right now. And so, ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you so much for listening, no matter where in the country or where in the world you may be. I am forever grateful to be a part of your Friday evening. Mount St. Mary, winners tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I'm Lucas Stackpole, and I will catch you all for the next one.